Good afternoon. It is the 20th day of February 2022. A warm welcome to KBC Channel 1 Lunchtime News. I am Nissie Imana. Byron Abuli is our sign language interpreter. Many thanks for joining us. President Uhuru Kenyatta has condoled with the family, relatives and friends of Kenya's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Dr. Winfred Gisuka Machage, who died on Saturday afternoon. In his condolence message, the president eulogized the departed Machage as a seasoned politician, consummate diplomat and committed public servant who served the country with distinction and utmost dedication. Dr. Machage is reported to have collapsed and died suddenly at his home in Abuja, Nigeria.
While leading the country in mourning the late Dr. Winfred Machage, the president eulogized Dr. Machage as a selfless person who will be remembered for his contribution in public service, where he served for many years as a medical doctor, politician, cabinet minister and diplomat. President Uhuru Kenyatta saying, "I received the shocking news of the sudden death of my friend and our country's ambassador to Nigeria, Dr. Winfred Machage, last evening with disbelief. As a politician, Dr. Machage was a relentless advocate of the interest of Wananchi, especially Kuria and Migori residents that he represented in the National Assembly and Senate respectively." Deputy President William Ruto has eulogized the late Machage as a distinguished public servant who served with dedication, saying he was wise, progressive and full of fresh thoughts.
Some members in this house condone.
Dr. Machage was first elected into Parliament in 2002, representing Kuria East constituency. He was re-elected in 2007 on a Democratic Party ticket. Machage also served as Migori County Senator from 2013 to 2017. Dr. Machage was appointed Kenya's High Commissioner to Nigeria by President Uhuru Kenyatta in 2018, from where he was accredited to 12 other countries in Central and West Africa. Machage died at the age of 65. Kamche Menza for Lunchtime News.
May his soul rest in peace. We now want to take you to the Bomas of Kenya, where our team is there covering the National Delegates Conference that is currently ongoing by the Democratic Party of Kenya. Timothy Kipnusu is our reporter and he's on standby to give us an update on that story.
A very good afternoon to you, Nissie Oko there, the broadcasting house in Nairobi. Yes, indeed, I'm coming to you live from the Bomas of Kenya here in the capital, Nairobi, where the Democratic Party of Kenya, DP, is holding its National Delegates Conference. A few days after they had pronounced that this is a day that Kenyans have to expect a snow melt declaration, that the mountain will melt, and therefore we here just to understand how this particular day pans out. Already 1,500 delegates have seated at this particular auditorium, and of course the guest of honor, who is also the party leader of this particular party, the DP, that is JB Muturi, who is also the Speaker of the National Assembly, is also here. And very important to note is that Kenyans want to understand who is the surprise guest in this particular event and the snow melt declaration that will be made in this particular event, bearing in mind that a couple of days ago the director of presidential election in this particular party, Joe Madhai, together with the Secretary General, that is Shukri Haji, had said that there will be a surprise guest in this particular forum. And understand that a couple of months ago there was another the National Delegates Conference where there was a surprise guest in that particular forum that was National NDC, that was organized by the Imana National Congress party leader Musalia Mudavadi. And to paint a picture about this particular NDC here at the Bomas of Kenya, I'm joined by the vice chairperson of the Democratic Party of Kenya, Peter Ndubai. Many thanks indeed for joining us here. We are live at KBC Channel 1. Perhaps you can tell us, what do we expect in this particular forum or NDC, and of course the snow that will melt in the mountain?
Thank you, Timothy, for allowing me to speak to you. Today is a Democratic Party of Kenya Delegate Conference. Our purpose today is to nominate Justin Muturi as a presidential candidate. That's why we have a special delegate conference today. We have delegates from all parts of the country. And Democratic Party of Kenya, when we announced we have a candidate, so many people have taken interest in us. That's why there are so many candidates even here today, governors, senators, women rep, MPs. Everybody is here. We have found that Kenya has not been represented well. There are quite many challenges in Kenya. And Democratic Party of Kenya is the second oldest party in Kenya, apart from KANU. It has the kind of President Mwai Kibaki, former president. And we believe in umoja na haki. That's our motto today. Umoja na haki. Na Kenya, we require umoja na haki.
Perhaps you can tell us, what are you guys bringing on the table, bearing in mind that we've been talking about the two-horse race, having the Kenya Kwanza Alliance and, of course, the Azimio. What is different in Democratic Party of Kenya?
The other candidates started earlier. We have Kwanza candidates started very early. They have been in campaign for years. Azimio, they have started. Democratic Party of Kenya, we are coming out now. People have been speaking of only two horses. It is not two horses from today. It is three horses. The three horses, which is joining today, Justin Muturi, I think is the best horse in Kenya, with his clean record, with integrity, with long service in government. Those are the kind of leadership we want. And we are telling Kenyans we need a change. And changes come with Democratic Party of Kenya. We want a leader who will check the economy. We want a leader who will fight corruption. We want a leader who will fight unemployment. We want a leader who will unite the country. We want a leader who will check the Kenya is inclusive. We are cohesive enough. We are united enough. The country is not united anymore. We need unity. Without unity, a country can't move. And Justin Muturi is the best person to unite Kenya and develop Kenya. Yes.
There have been sentiments from a number of politicians telling of the party leader about this particular party, that this party is a village party. What is your take on that? How do you appreciate it?
Leaders, they forget that the people who are calling Democratic Party of Kenya, it is less than 1 year old. We don't know even the history of this party. They are new in the market. And mind you, from 2002, there are so many parties which have been formed and they have died. We are not a vehicle for one-way election. Democratic Party of Kenya will be there. It has been there for 30 years, and we are going to be there another 30 years. We are not dissolving. We are stood by. We are good loyal members. We are good candidates. We want to make change in Kenya. That change will come in Democratic Party of Kenya. We are promising Kenyans they expect a good leadership, good governance. That's what we are looking for. That's what Kenyans are looking for.
Perhaps the last question, who is this surprise guest, and perhaps this normal declaration that you're going to make this day?
We have guests. The guest of honor is Justin Muturi today. His speech is coming shortly. But the Kenyans, all Kenyans are here. All 80 provinces, former 9 provinces, they are represented here. Democratic Party of Kenya, we have offices in almost 47 counties in Kenya. And everybody is here today. I think we are the best bet people to guide this country to go the election. What we are asking in the Electoral Commission, they give us free, fair, and credible election.
Many thanks indeed.
All right, thank you so much, Timothy Kipnusu, and our team on the ground. They are following up on the National Delegates Conference of the Democratic Party of Kenya. We will be keeping tabs on that story and bring you the latest in our subsequent bulletins. But for now, the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers officials want the government to act swiftly and provide details of the whereabouts of the clinical officer who was abducted in Mandera County on Friday. The officials who have condemned the act say they are concerned by the government's silence over the matter. The clinical officer, Jackson Kabu, was working at Fino Health Center in Mandera before the abduction by people suspected to be Al-Shabaab.
The Kenya Union of Clinical Officers condemn in the strongest term possible the abduction of one of our members, Mr. Jackson Kabu, a clinical officer who was working in Mandera County at Ifino Health Center. It is disappointing to continue witnessing serious security incidences despite our calls for provision of enhanced security to essential services provider working in these polarized counties.
The county government must formally tell us where is clinical officer Jackson Kabo, what is his status, and what are they doing about him. Also, they must tell us what they are doing and the steps they have taken to ensure that others working in similar places are protected. The same responsibility and the highest responsibility lies with the government of Kenya under the Ministry of Interior and Coordination. We want the ministry to also publicly tell us what they are doing to secure essential service providers in these areas.
A regional delegates conference for ODM in Nyanza scheduled for early next week in Kisii has been postponed. ODM Regional Secretary General Philip Makabongo explained the RDC postponement was prompted by the upcoming party National Delegates Conference to be held in Nairobi on February 25th. 2022. Meanwhile, Kenya Ambassador to Namibia Benjamin Langat has announced his return to politics and will contest for Aina Moi parliamentary seat during August 2022 polls.
ODM Nyanza Delegates Conference that was scheduled for next week has been postponed to allow preparations for the National Delegates Conference slated for 25th February this year. The conference's deferment has sparked off claims that it was occasioned by current perceived frosty relations among some area gubernatorial aspirants.
Given the timelines between the National Delegates Conference, NDC in short, and Regional Delegates Conference, RDC, which was scheduled on 25th/26th of February 2022 and on 22nd February 2022 respectively, the planning committee for the RDC has resolved to postpone the RDC that was to be held in Kisii until after the forthcoming NDC in Nairobi on 25th and 26th February.
Elsewhere, Kenya Ambassador to Namibia Benjamin Langat has quit his role to contest for Aina Moi parliamentary seat during August polls. Langat, former Aina Moi MP, lost the seat in 2017 elections to the incumbent Silvanus Martim, and they are set to square it out once again for the seat.
Munajua mimi wakati maneno iliisha siku ile nikapata jeraha kidogo, si ndio? Lakini Mungu hakuniacha sana namna hiyo, akanipatia nafasi nyingine na nimefanya miaka 3 na contract yangu na serikali imeisha, si ndio?
Speaking in Aina Moi during an official welcoming, Langat said he has terminated his ambassadorial role so that he can campaign for the seat, appealing to the voters to ensure they vote in development-oriented leaders. Kesho Kiwashira, Lunchtime News.
And elsewhere, residents of Ugenya in Siaya County have raised concerns over runaway insecurity in the region. The locals say the area has become a gangster's paradise where criminal elements run their deadly trade with reckless abandon.
According to the residents, security officials appear to be overwhelmed by the rising number of incidents where armed robbers strike, maim and kill at will before disappearing. Among the residents calling for justice is a young widow, Jacinta Achieng Odwor, whose husband, John Odwor Mulanga, 32 years, was murdered at Sega Kondiek a fortnight ago.
Naomba tu serikali watusaidie watufanyie uchunguzi venye Odwor aliuliwa. Kwa wenye waliuliwa washikwe.
The residents urged the government to investigate the activities of some of the administrators and their cronies who are now trying to politicize the unfortunate incidents through the social media.
Tunauliza huyu iko wapi, amepotea wapi? Mama ingine akakuja akatuambia mwenye mnauliza huyo amepatikana kwa kona pale kama amelala amelala na anaonekana ndio mtu mnauliza ameaga dunia.
Local leaders, however, called on the public to support efforts to beef up security in Ugenya through strengthening the Nyumba Kumi initiative.
I want to also ask wananchi that let us have community policing revived so that we help each other, so that in future we don't have such deaths.
Elsewhere, detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations have rescued 108 Ethiopian nationals from a human trafficking syndicate in Kirigiti, Kiambu County. According to DCI boss George Kinoti, the victims were rescued by detectives drawn from the Transnational and Organized Crime Unit on Friday. The victims are aged between 13 years to 35 years old.
It is time now for a quick break, but plenty ahead when we return shortly.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723 892 654 or 0734 780 124.
The government of Kenya adopted universal health coverage (UHC) as one of the big four priority agenda, with an aspiration that by 2022 all citizens will have access to quality healthcare services that they need without getting into financial hardships. Don't suffer in silence. Visit the nearest healthcare facility and access affordable healthcare services that are now offered under the universal health coverage benefit package delivered through NHIF. For those who can afford, please remember to pay the monthly contribution of 500 shillings. The government has put mechanisms for assisting those who cannot afford to pay. Register biometrically at the nearest NHIF office. Your family's health matters to us. NHIF. Leave no one behind.
Mundos divididos por una sombra de traición.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is Lunchtime News. Moving on, Nakuru County Government has launched a sustainable energy access and climate action plan to combat effects of climate change in an effort to access clean energy. Deputy Governor Eric Korir says the move, initiated by the county's Climate Change Bill 2020, will provide technical assistance and guidance to the city's response to climate change.
Thank you very much.
Nakuru County Deputy Governor Eric Korir says the Climate Change Action Plan will ensure effective response, adaptation and mitigate effects of climate change in the region. Rising temperatures have had some devastating effects on features such as Lake Nakuru. The lake is home to millions of flamingos and is a tourist destination. Speaking during the launch of the action plan, Nakuru Deputy Governor Eric Korir said the bill will provide technical assistance and guidance to the city on how to plan effective actions to respond to climate change.
In order to mitigate this, they have also proposed what we should do. How can we actually go about to reduce, for example, greenhouse gases in terms of vehicle emissions? What kind of vehicles should we be looking at? How should we all be driving in our city?
Nakuru County Environment Chief Officer Kiogora Mureithi says the plan, once implemented, will ensure communities are able to mitigate and adapt to climate challenges.
What other steps we need to take from here? And basically the steps is actioning the plans for the purpose of ensuring that our communities are able to mitigate and adapt to climate challenges.
Understanding the effects of climate change in their livelihoods, and looking at the climate resilience programs and livelihood programs that can be used to mitigate their programs at the grassroots.
Irene Mchuma Odim, The Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, residents of Malaba in Busia County have welcomed the ongoing construction of the dry port project, saying it will provide job opportunities. The 1.8 billion shilling facility will be used to load and offload cargo, as well as reduce the incessant traffic congestion along the highway and at the border point.
Interview ya plant operator, machine zile kubwa za kuchimba maram, zingine za kulainisha njia. Naimiza wasichana wenzangu, hii kazi si ya wanaume peke yake. Hata sisi ni wanawake tunaweza.
Kwanza kabisa ningependa kushukuru serikali yetu ya Kenya na serikali ya Busia County kwa kushirikiana na kuona ya kwamba hii dry port inaletwa hapa Malaba, ambayo inaenda kuleta mambo mingi. Inaenda kuleta ajira kwa vijana wetu, inaenda kuleta biashara mingi kwa watu wetu wa Malaba Central.
Moving on, dozens of political and religious leaders have resolved to explore ways to bring peace and reconciliation to the Korean Peninsula. Speaking during the annual Peace Summit in South Korea, African Union Chairman Macky Sall, Nigeria President Muhammadu Buhari, and Universal Peace Federation co-founder Hak Jahan Moon jointly called for an end to human conflict and encouraged dialogue, interpersonal relations towards peaceful coexistence among nations.
And I want to thank again the many people who have come here.
A section of world leaders have opined that peaceful coexistence within the Korean Peninsula remains one of the main items in the global peace agenda. The leaders spoke during the annual Peace Summit in Seoul, South Korea, where it was agreed that dialogue and interpersonal relations are some of the avenues that need to be followed in the search for peace. Universal Peace Federation co-founder Hak Jahan Moon encouraged proactive steps in bringing peaceful reconciliation, notably freedom and prayers among nations.
I am asking all the people of North Korea and South Korea, will you work with me so that North and South Korea, which are brothers to one another, can become like one peninsula?
On the world stage, such initiative as the establishment of an international think tank on peace on the Korean Peninsula by the Universal Peace Federation is a highly welcome development.
The World Summit also witnessed the award ceremony of Sun Hak Peace Prize, honored to individuals and organizations who have shown extraordinary service to global peace and well-being in sustainable human development, conflict resolution, or ecological conservation.
I join you in the enlightened choice of peace.
Irene Mchuma Odim, The Lunchtime News.
And in Kitengela, residents of Norkopir village are up in arms over poor waste management in the area. The residents say trucks continue to dump tons of garbage to the already overstretched dumping site. Heavy smoke and continuous stench, they say, characterize a section of the populous Norkopir village, rendering the area inhabitable. They are now calling for immediate action by the county government. The National Environment Complaints Committee has since issued a 6-month notice to the county government to address the dumping site management and reconsider relocating it.
Are far less than the dangers and the problems this dump site is causing to the community. You've seen the severity and the gravity of what this dump site has posed.
Haiwezi ku-accommodate takataka zote, hata hizi ukirudisha hapo ndani na inaangusha ukuta. Ifikirie sana hii maneno ya dump site, itafute mahali pa kurelocate.
Hapa tumeona kuna medical waste, kuna hazardous waste ambayo inaletwa saa 6 ya usiku kama watu wamelala, na alafu inaakishwa moto ndio isijulikane ni nini.
On to the day's sports now. Lukenya Academy were crowned champions of the private International Prep School Sports Association Invitational Swimming Championships that was held at Brookshine Schools in Ruai. Lukenya swimmers dominated the gala for the second time in a row that saw them garner 1,078 points overall. Regis School in Runda and the Aga Khan School Nairobi finished second and third positions respectively.
The gala attracted a number of swim teams from Nairobi, Kiambu, Kajiado and Machakos, who included Lukenya Academy, Regis School Runda, Brookshine Schools, the Aga Khan High School Nairobi, Nova Pioneer, Umoja Sharks, the Harpoons, SPDK and NCA. Most of the swimmers from the aforementioned swim teams qualified for PIPSA National Swimming Championship, scheduled for 28th May this year at St. Christopher's Swimming, Nanyuki. The upcoming PIPSA Nationals will be a game of the Titans and will attract teams across the country, including Mombasa, Nyeri, Nakuru, Kilifi, Kisumu, among others. Swimmers with the best times will represent the country in the East Africa Dolphins Invitational Swimming Championship that will take place in April 2023 in Kampala, Uganda.
On the international scene, Tottenham Hotspur showed a dazzling performance in a thrilling match encounter as the Antonio Conte's side claimed a 3-2 win over leaders Manchester City. As in form, Harry Kane's stoppage time goal stunned the defending champions at Etihad. Liverpool beat Norwich 3-1 to keep their title hopes alive. Arsenal overcame Brentford 2-1 at Emirates, while Chelsea edged past Crystal Palace by a solitary goal.
Now it's Sterling. Plenty in there. De Bruyne goes for it and Gundogan! He puts it in. Laporte's now operating as a striker. Bernardo Silva hits it in. Claims of handball. City fans convinced. City players convinced. It is a penalty. Penalty for handball against Romero. Mahrez puts City left.
All right, on that note, we bring KBC Lunchtime News to a close. Many thanks for joining us and for keeping it here. You can find more news on our website at www.kbc.co.ke. Also more news at 7 and at 9 p.m. I am Nissie Imano. Byron Abuli has been our sign language interpreter. Good afternoon and enjoy the rest of your viewing.
Wait for me in the restaurant, okay?
Oh.
Aren't you afraid she's gonna catch us? What are we gonna do?
Oh my. I'm so sorry.
I'll go take care of it ASAP and come back as early as I can, okay?
All women believe their husbands are loyal to them. They just won't admit it, even if there's proof. I wonder what makes you trust him so much.
A lady asked us to dry clean it immediately. She told us to send it to 2622.
I saw him talking with another woman. They were picking out wedding rings.
We are here and we are strong. Let's be counted as we move on. Make a difference, change lives as we tell our different stories. We are capable, beautiful, we are born to to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.
In Nathaniel Brandon's words, the first step toward change is awareness. The second step is acceptance. Well, awareness creates acceptance and tolerance in our society, and many organizations and individuals have been at the forefront in sensitizing the community on disability issues. You are watching Able Differently, and my name is Jane Theuri. Let's get started.
We're differently abled, differently.
The National Epilepsy Coordination Committee held a press briefing on the steps they are taking toward impacting the lives of people with epilepsy. Take a look.
I have lived with epilepsy for 30 years. And yeah, it shook me a bit.
As the world marked the International Epilepsy Day on the 14th of February with the theme Friendship and Inclusion, Sam is grateful for the help he has received so far.
Personally, I'm a very lucky person. Given the statistics, about 80-20%, I fall in the 20% who know what it is that they have and are taking medication regularly, and it's become like second nature.
The National Epilepsy Coordination Committee has been at the forefront in advocating for the welfare of people with epilepsy through various campaigns.
So International Epilepsy Day is being celebrated all over the world. In fact, there are around 140 countries that have actually committed to be celebrating the event. And it happens on the second Monday of February. We are focusing mostly on the 50 million steps for every person with epilepsy. And the 50 million steps can be looked at from a retail meaning, whereby you have people making very small steps, others making very huge steps towards the care for people with epilepsy, and then combining all those together to get the 50 million steps. It simply means each and every one of us can be able to contribute to that in our own very small way.
Angaza Kifafa campaign has been used over time to do advocacy.
One of the flagship projects, which is funded by the Bank of Africa, that shall be speaking today, is the Angaza Kifafa campaign.
Every year we look at visiting about 4 counties, and the number of counties that have been mentioned there are part of what we have been able to do. So over time, we have had to change the traditional way of how we have been doing our campaign. In the previous years, what we were doing was we had about 3 programs.
People with epilepsy face stigma, and that has been their greatest challenge.
We recognize a number of challenges people living with epilepsy experience, and one of these challenges is about disease awareness and the stigma. Epilepsy affects almost every aspect in life of a patient, and for many people living with epilepsy, the stigma attached to the disease is even more difficult to deal with than the disease itself. So you can tell that the impact is tremendous.
The campaigns are used to educate and inform on the myths and misconceptions.
So the arm of the training was very important, considering that epilepsy is compounded with a lot of myths and misconceptions, ranging from epilepsy is witchcraft, epilepsy is demon possession. And for this, we realized for us to narrow the treatment gap, awareness creation through trainings was very important. And the holistic approach we adopted was we refresh our medics in the various health facilities, and then we target the people in the community who are living with these patients who still believe in witchcraft and demon possession, so that they are the ones who can help us connect the patient